The International Olympic Committee has the honor of announcing that the Games of the 30th Olympiad in 2012 are awarded to the city of London.
And William Blake wrote a poem in the 18th century called Jerusalem, and there's a paragraph, the final like few words in that poem says, "I will not cease from mental flight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land." So basically, William Blake was a known 18th century esotericist with connections to the Freemasons. And, he was famous for such pieces of artwork as Your Eyes and the Creator, which is a big picture of the Creator with a compass opened up like a pyramid, just like, Freemasonic symbology and stuff.
Didn't he reference the Newton in regards to that painting? Have you heard about that?
There is the Newton painting as well, and Newton is kind of on the lurched over on the floor with his compass. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's a different painting of William Blake.
It is, okay, yeah.
But essentially in that poem, we'd got an acknowledgement from a guy connected with esoteric research that they were intent on building Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. So, we're thinking, like, when we talk about the Olympics 2012, we're talking about something that's been planned for hundreds of years, and there's a lot of proof that I've dug up that can show that. Basically loaded up, Google Earth, wanted to have a look at the London site from the air. I wanted to see, what it is that's so special about this place. And, it just so happened that the particular site in Stratford was the only last bit of wasteland that was, that was left vacant in London. It was the one last place that they could do things for something like the Olympics. So, it's quite lucky that they had it in the first place. And what I noticed was I started looking at the actual street plan of this place, and to go through it, you've got a number of roads that circle the site, and the first road is a road called the Eastern Cross Route. The East Cross Route, which is a reference to the Eastern Cross. The Eastern Cross is an Orthodox cross, and it's a modified version of the Patriarchal cross. It's got two smaller cross beams across the side. The next road down, you've got Carpenter's Road, which encircles the site. Carpenter, who was a carpenter? Oh, good old Joseph.
Yeah,
he was a carpenter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Next road down, you've got a road called the Great Eastern Road. And obviously when you refer to something as the Great Eastern, it's obviously like the Great Eastern Star. So you look into the Great Eastern Star, it turns out that the Order of the Eastern Star is the largest fraternal organisation in the world that both men and women can join, and it was founded by someone highly connected with the Freemasons, and their symbol is the pentagram. So this is the next road down. Yeah. Moving on around the Olympic site. If you envisage we're encapsulating the whole Olympic site here, the next road along is Angel Lane. And obviously the famous angel is the angel Gabriel. So we've got Angel Lane here. Next road along, we've got Temple Mills Lane. Temple Mills, where the water mills belong to the Knights Templar. Yeah. So another connection there. The Knights Templar were the poor fellow soldiers of Christ in the Temple of Solomon. And then encapsulating all of this is Church Road. It's obviously another biblical road name. Yeah. So all the way around the Olympics 2012 site, which you could call Zion if you go with the logo, is biblical road names surrounding the whole site. There's not one road name that's not biblical. So you start looking at that and you think, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Because this site was supposedly a fluke that they found this, and what we're looking at is something that is clearly quite well planned. So if you move into, like, for instance, there's one road here that's called is the East Cross Route is called the A12. It's another road name for it. And if I move into, say, for instance, hieroglyphics for a start, hieroglyphics back in the days of ancient Egypt, they were seen as talismans, in that a particular hieroglyphic didn't mean like one letter, like a H. It meant a multitude of emotions. It meant a multitude of meanings. And it basically, it drew in the powers of the stars. That's what a hieroglyph was. It was a talisman. Yeah. It wasn't a direct translation. So, like, for instance, when they do a direct translation of the Rosetta Stone, you can't translate hieroglyphics into H, A's and Z's and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Sure. So basically, if you think of this idea of hieroglyphics as talismans, power of the stars embedded in this symbol, if you want to call it that, and then everyone assumes that the English language moved on from that, and that our letters just meant letters, just to spell words out, and that there weren't symbols at all. But the fact is that if you look into the idea that the power control in Egypt never died out, and they've been endemic to the power structure from the very start, the letters on the English alphabet are just as much hieroglyphs as the hieroglyphics were, the talismans.
I agree,
so,
Yeah.
If you look at the letter A, for instance, you've got a pyramid with a capstone, a capital letter A.
Yeah.
And then if you look at an S, you've got a snake. And then if you've got like a dollar sign, you've got a snake rising up what could be a kundalini or, you know, a DNA coil, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But basically, these letters have got meanings behind them. And so this main road that cuts through the Olympics 2012 site, which is called the East Cross Road, is also known as the A12 road. Now, there's hundreds of A roads in Britain. And so what are the chances that of all the roads that cross through it were an A12 road, a Pyramid 12 road? Do you see where I'm coming from with it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Very interesting.
It's pretty strange that one road, you know, this is what I'm saying, coincidence is this load of rubbish that this is coincidence. It's not coincidence whatsoever.
No.
And then you look into the situation of where it's situated in London and Eastern London, and you'll find that it's in two areas. It's separated between Leighton and Leytonstone. And I don't know if you're aware of what a ley line is, but basically...
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, if you look into this, the Olympic site is bang on where two lane lines cross over. So we're on about something that's connected to the energy grid of, you know, the world, like the lifeblood of the earth, if you want to call it that.
Nice.
But basically, like, you've got this Zion street map that's fully biblical in every way, and you then decide. Well, I decided to pick up the Bible. I don't normally pick up the Bible. I'm not that type of person. But basically picked up and went to the book of Mark, and I decided to go to the chapter 11, verse 11. You know, the old 11:11.
Yeah.
We got this passage here. Then Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple and looked around at everything. Since it was already late, he went out with his 12 disciples to Bethany. So we've got a mention of Jesus entering Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Which is obviously Zion's the New Jerusalem. And it says that since it was already late, he went out with his 12 disciples to Bethany. Right next to the Olympics 2012 site, down a Roman road, is a place called Bethnal Green. Bethnal Green, Bethany, sounds the same, pretty close, you know, not too far off.
Yeah.
Bethnal Green is 3.3 miles, 33 degree Masons and everything, 3.3 miles from Charing Cross, the centre of London.
Yeah.
So symbolic again, numerology and everything that goes with it.
Of course, I don't know if you've heard, but if we look at the research of Ralph Ellis, he talks that Mary Magdalene might have been Mary of Bethany. You know, there's a whole connection between Bethany and the you know, the family of Jesus, if you will, or you know.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I mean, with the whole idea of the Dan Brown bloodline and the Priory of Sion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I'll get onto that shortly, but that's all part of the plan. That's all part of what's intended here. They wanted to unseed the public with the idea that there's a lost bloodline of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, you know, pretty scary.